Okay, so okay, so welcome to this class. Okay,
Yep.
so in the last few classes, we have taught SQL, uh,
HTML.
JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, right?
Yep.
So I didn't get to complete the SQL, so I just want to go with you to go about some things in the SQL. All right.
Yep.
So the last thing we refreshed from what from a previous class was that we were doing we were learning SQL, and basically we had the tables here, customer categories and so tables here, and if you click on it, each of them have records in here. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Now, the thing is, what I didn't discuss before, what I was trying to discuss last time was a relational table, right? So a relational table is something like what you call it, the orders. Orders here is a relational table. You can see here it's just got a bunch of numbers. It
Yep.
doesn't have physical, like the like a reading data type of thing. Reading data like is like this type of here. You can read the data and you understand what this is. It's a customer table. It's got information of your contact details, your address, your city, your postcode, and everything, right? So you can tell from this table, you can read this table basically, but even the supplier table, you can read it, right? You got your suppliers, who your supplier name is, your contact name, address, and so on. So, okay. But an order, okay, is a relational table. You can see here it's only got IDs, ID, ID, ID. Can you see that?
Yep. Yep. The order IDs. Yep.
Yeah. So what that means, what's that showing is how this order ID, there is a relationship here, okay? There's a relationship where, what you call it, a customer
And order number.
can have many orders, right?
Okay. Yep.
Right. So if we go to, let's just see if there is a customer that has done that. There's here we go. There's a customer 63 and a
Yep.
customer 63. All right.
Yep.
So we can, if we go here and if we go here, we go select orders where customer ID equals here 63, right? We run it. So we can see here the customer ID number 63 has
Yep.
made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 orders.
Okay.
All right. Now, if you want to find out who 63 is, right? So
Yep.
let me just open a new tab. I'll just open a new one. And let's go to the customer table.
Okay.
Right. We have a customer and we have the customer ID. And then we go where customer ID equals here 63. Now we can tell that Quick Stop is the actual customer of that order.
Okay. From customer, where customer. Yep.
Okay, so we see here 63, and we find out here 63. So that's Quick Stop, the actual customer name, right? You get it?
Yep. Yep.
So now what you want to do, say if you wanted to show in this order, not only what you call it, the just this detail here, but you also wanted to show the customer details from the one SQL query, from the one query. You wanted to show the customer name here as well in the columns here as well. Okay.
Yep.
And all those details. So what you would do, right, is you go here and go select star from orders where customer ID is 63, and you would go here. You do an inner join. So
Inner joint.
you would do a join customer table. All right, customer being this one here. Customers, sorry. Customers being this one, this table here. Customers. All right. Oh, wait.
Yep.
What happened? Sorry. Well, let me start again. So let's go to. Sorry. So hold on. All right. So select star from orders. Right.
Yep.
If we query that, where customer ID equals here 63. All right.
Yep.
Now let's say if we wanted to do a join with the order table and the customer table, so we'd go inner join, join. Would go here customers. So the customers being this table here, customers. Right.
Yep.
On, right? Orders dot customer ID. Dot meaning when you see the word dot,
yep.
This is the table name, and this is the column name.
Okay, so order ID, table name, and the column name. Yep.
Orders. So orders, which is this table here. Dot customer ID equals here customers, which is now the customer table. Dot customer ID. Okay, so this is the customer table and the customer column. Okay, so if we run this,
anything wrong?
Join, hold on. Orders from join customers. All right, let me have a look at this. Hold on, I've seen an example here.
Yeah, that's all right.
Inner join, here we are. We can use this one here. Okay. So let's run this query here.
Yep.
So this is the query, okay?
Okay.
Select, okay, yeah, we probably shouldn't use the star. That means all columns, okay?
Yep.
So we'll run this query. I'll just run this query here. All right, so I copied paste that query, and at the end I did where customer ID equals 63. Remember, customer ID is the 63. Which one?
Table of the
Well, where is it? The customer. Customer 63 is where customer ID equals is 63. So customer 63 is quick stop. Okay. So let's run this query now. Okay. Okay. Wait, hold on. Customers, because there's two column names called customer ID, one from the order table, one from the customer table. Now, if you run this, there we go. So now you're retrieving order ID from the order.
Yep.
And the customer name from the customer table.
Okay. Yep.
And you're joining those tables together.
Customers and customer ID.
So if you wanted to show more information about the orders, so let's just say we wanted to show, just one second. So we have the custom ID here. Now let's just say if we wanted to show the orders, right? So if we wanted to show the order date, right?
Yep.
In here, we would go here and say, okay, so show me here orders, or you can do this, or you can do that. You can put it in brackets. Orders dot. So the order being the table name.
Yep.
Dot order date.
Date.
And you run this, and you see the order date as well.
Okay, with the same table. Yep.
Yeah.
That's good.
Interesting. So this is basically what inner join is in the SQL.
To find out all the tables and.
Yeah, there's a lot of, so that's a relational table.
Yep.
If you get what I mean. So if we go back to the orders, which one is the orders? You can see here, there's order ID, there's custom ID, there's employee ID, right?
Yep.
So if we have employees here, so if we just, let me just click on here, employees. So here are employees, right?
Yep.
So if we wanted to do a join with the employees, we would do select. Let's just go here, employee first name and last name. Select employee dot first name, and let's just go here and separated by comma, and then we go here. Employees dot last name. Okay, so we just want to show those two columns, and then we go here. So we go inner join. Inner join. One second. Yeah. Okay. Inner join. We'll go here, orders table, where, no, not where, sorry, on orders. Sorry, we're employees, or you can do orders. You can start off with orders, or you can start off with employees. Employees dot employee ID equals here orders dot employee ID. Okay, right now it still looks the same, but now you can add columns from the orders, right? You can go orders. You can, if you want to go, if you want to find out all the customer details, customer IDs from the orders, you'll just go here, orders dot customer ID. You can do that there, right? And you can even do multiple inner joins. You can go, okay, like let me find out what the customer name is. You know, you go here and you can do another join. You can go inner join where customer customers where the employee sorry, I'll say the orders dot customer ID is equal to customer dot customer ID. Okay.
Yep.
And then customers, right? So now if you wanted to get, so these are the these are the employee's name, right? You got employee 1 as first name, and if you wanted to specify the column name, we can go as employee first name. You can change the name of the column. It says employee first name.
Okay, if we enter that, so
As
name will be changed. Yep.
employee last name. Okay. You got the employee last name. Okay?
So what about here?
And,
We haven't. Sorry to
and
interrupt.
if you wanted to get the customer name, so we go here. What's the fields in the customer table? So we have, if we want to get customer name, so we go here. Where are we? We go here. We go here. Customers dot customer name. And we'll just run that SQL query here, and we get the customer name. So with the employee name, custom, and the customer ID. We don't need this ID anymore because we've got the customer name, and you can display like that on your SQL query.
Okay. Yep. So just one question for that, like as these are all the brackets, then we have that dots. So the dots and the commas have different specification, like dots joins and comma separates from others.
Yeah, comma is separating. So if you wanted to show, so see how you got a comma and customer name, right?
Yep.
That's how you, if you want to show extra column, you use the comma and then you use the customer name. If you take this out,
yep,
then we just have the customer ID. Now, if you want to add another field, like as I said, customer name.
Yep.
Customer name, then you would put a comma there, and you want to add another another column. You would specify this is the table name, right?
Yep.
And this is the this is the column name of the table.
Column name. Yep. Okay. And the other thing here, without brackets, we have some of them. So the things without bracket means the employee first name we mentioned before comma, and then we started. That's like if you have to enter in SQL, we have like we don't need to have brackets for them, isn't it?
You can have brackets if you want. Like if you do a bracket here,
yep,
then it still shows the same thing, right?
Okay. Yep.
Call it ABC, you know.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Brackets are there. I'll just use the brackets. It's easier to you know,
separate them. Yep.
To just show like you know, you can find out from the brackets that this is the name of a field. You know what I mean?
Okay. So actually, sometimes we don't even need that.
Yeah, you don't need the brackets. You can do all this without the brackets.
Okay. Yep. Yep. That's all right.
All right.
Yep.
So so that's the SQL query behind it, right?
Yep.
Now, your SQL queries in the real life, in the company that you work in, your SQL queries can become really complicated, and sometimes you know, some SQL queries can be 2, 3, 4 lines. Some SQL queries can be like 100, 500 lines. You know, it can get complicated. So this is like a 3-line, 4-line SQL query. You know what I mean? So yeah. So so let's make what you call it. I think what we should do, we should go ahead and make this table in SQL Server. Yeah, at least the customer and the order table. Okay. So I've got the SQL Server open here. Here's my SQL Server.
Yep.
Okay. I remember I was having issues last time with the SQL Server, but I've connected this with Azure, which is the cloud database.
Okay.
Okay. So let's just create the customer table. So we'll look at, let's go, let me just save this query. A different notepad. We need to refer to it. I just don't like too many things open, so let me just close all this. All right. So let's go back here and let's just type in SQL tutorial again. Right, and we got the customer table, right? So let's just make the customer table, right? So we'll make all these tables. We'll make this table, customer table, in the in the SQL database. Okay, SQL Server database. This is the SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a table. All right, Asif Bhai? You there, Asif Bhai?
Yep.
All right, so let's go right click, create a table, new table. Just wait till it's create. And let's create all the details in the table. So we have the customer ID. So these are the columns, right? So the customer ID. This will be an integer, right? There's only integer values here. 1, 2, 3. It's only numbers.
Yep.
There's no text yet. All right. So this is going to be an integer data type. Okay. All right.
Okay. Yep.
And we have to set this as the primary key, as the unique value of the database. So this will always be unique value. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right.
Yep.
You might have a customer with the same name or something like that, but with a different address. You know, you might have CBA, you might have Commonwealth Bank and address here Parramatta, and you might have a Commonwealth Bank address here City, you know, CBD. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But the thing is that so the customer name is not always unique. It can be, but it's not always unique. But this will make sure, this primary ID, that this is always unique. So if you wanted to ever get the value of the custom of the Commonwealth Bank, that's Parramatta location, and say that's a customer ID 4, you just go where customer ID equals 4, and then you do a select query. You go here, select star from where customer ID equals 4, and then you should get the details of you know, the customer name. So Parramatta, so Commonwealth Bank and the Parramatta location. So this is what always makes it unique. All right, this ID will always make sure that this row is unique. This will define it as unique, right? So that's the primary key. It identifies it that it's a unique value can only go in there. Okay, so you can't get two customer ID columns that equal 4. Do you get what I mean?
Yep.
Only one customer ID can equal 4. Okay.
Yep.
So we want to increment this. So we do here identify specification. We say here identity equals yes. Now what this does, this will increment all the IDs. What you call it? That will increment all the IDs that to what you call it, increment by 1. So if we look at the customer table here again, right, the last number here is 91, right?
Yep.
And because we set this to increment by 1, the next time we insert a record in this table, automatically the customer ID will be 92.
Okay.
That's what this identity is. It automatically gives the next customer ID 92, and then obviously the next record after that, if someone inserts another record, that record will be 93, and so on and so on. Okay.
Yep.
92, 93, 94, 90, 95, so on and so on. Okay, so this specifies like incrementing. Okay, so now we've got the customer ID, right, and we've told it to increment. Okay, now we've got the customer name. and we paste it here. And this will be, we can see here, this is text value. Okay, so a text value is specified by nvarchar, and this specifies how many characters can you have inside this column. So if we specify only 5 characters can come in this column, therefore, when you insert a record here, only the first 5 characters, A, L, F, R, E, D, 1, 2, 3, no, only A, L, F, R, E, these 5 characters would be inserted into the column, into this customer name table, right?
Okay, yep.
But obviously, we can't limit it to 5 characters, then we won't be able to add names. So usually the default is like 50 characters. So usually customer name would be 50 characters. But if you want to increase that, then you can increase that to 100 characters allowed in the table. Okay. Then you have the contact name. Right? You have, just one second.
Yeah.
You have the contact name, and you have what you call it. With this is also nvarchar 50. Okay, it's a text. Okay, and this says allow null values. Allow null value means if you want to allow a blank value in the table. Okay, sorry, not in the table, a blank value in this column. So if you wanted a blank value here in the, for example, the address, right? So here you have the customer name, you have the contact name, but this won't have a value. This will be a null value. Nothing would exist here. This will be blank, right? And then you have all these details. So if you want to, so that means in address, you've allowed a null value, allow null values, meaning that there's no value values that
can be added.
Doesn't have to be inserted here. You know what I mean? So that's a null value. So we've got contact name, we've got address. So if we go address, so address obviously would probably have, I would say address would be more of an just one second. Address would be more of an nvarchar, say maybe you want 200 characters allowing there, right? Maximum address will have is 200 characters, right? So address, which is here 200 George Street, Sydney CBD, right? That's the value. That's the value of the address. So that shouldn't exceed 200 characters. Do you get what I mean?
Yep.
Address won't exceed 200 characters. Okay. Then you have the city.
Yep. City.
Right. Then you have the city, which is here. You have the city. Now, city, generally any city name doesn't exceed 50 characters, right? So whatever name you get. But if you wanted to increase that, you can increase that to 100 characters. But city, 50 characters. Postal code. So postal code. That's that could be integer, but we can specify that. But you can see here there's text value here as well, right?
Okay. Yep.
It's not just numbers, right? So it's better to leave that as nvarchar. So nvarchar, I think maximum postcode would have is maybe 20 characters. But just one second. A maximum postcode would have is 20 characters. But if you want to leave it as 50, you can leave it as 50. That's the default value. It's probably better to actually probably better to leave it as 20. Okay.
Yep.
And then you have your country. All right. Any country name doesn't have more than 50 characters. All right. So we'll leave it at that. Okay. So this is our customer table. All right. We've got the column name. We can save it here. Save. and we can call this here, we'll call this the same name as here, I would say customers. All right, so it's just creating the customer table. Now, if we refresh this, if we go right click refresh, we now have a customer table. Okay.
Yep.
If we close this, if we want to go back to design view, we can just go right click design. Okay, we go back to this design. But if we want to select any column, any records here, we'll just go select top 1,000 records, and basically system in the query. So it's selecting the top 1,000 records in here. There's no records in here, right? So we don't need to what you call it to that's why there's no data showing here. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
So let's go add this data. So we'll just quickly add we'll just add, let's see if we can add all this data directly here. If we go right click and we go to edit top 200 rows, we'll come to the design view. Right, and then we'll just see if we can paste that here. Control V, I'm just pasting them. Let's see if that does the job. It's taking its time. Okay, so it's taking its time to insert the records. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But if we wanted to insert, how would we insert these records? So if we wanted to go here and just take, I don't want to get, actually,
All of them.
I just don't want to show the customer ID. So if I go here, show everything but the customer ID. Show customer name, show contact name, show address, show city, show postcode, show country. All right, so let's get these details here. Let's see. I think the SQL server is hanged up.
Yeah, it's been.
Yeah, the SQL server has been hanged up. But anyway, what I wanted to do is I wanted to create a customer table with okay, let me see. I've got to probably restart the SQL server. Let me just kill the SQL server. All right. Let me just log in again.
Yep.
I'll just log in. All right, so we created the customer table. This was our database, TestDB. In the table, we created a customer table. All right, and we're going to edit. All right. Instead of adding all the records, let's just add one record. Or let's add, let's add one record to start off. We can see if that works. Oh no, it inserted.
Okay, yep.
It did the insert.
Oh,
it was just taking time. I think it inserted 50 records. Right? So it took its time because there's more than 50 records here. There's bigger customer ID. There's actually 91 records. So it was inserting, but it was just taking its time. Maybe this database is related with the cloud. This database is in Azure. So it's in the cloud. So that's why it's taking its time. It's communicating with the server.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so we this is our data of our our customers, right? So let's create a table called orders. All right. Actually, let's have a look at the order table. Well, we have many details here. We have shippers details. We have products. Product looks like a relation table. So we have shippers. We have employees. Right, and order details brings all these tables together as a relational table. Okay, you can see here the customer ID, the employee ID, the shipper ID. Okay, so let's just create an order that has these three columns: the order ID, customer ID, and order date. Okay, so yeah, we'll do that. Okay. So let's create a right-click and go new table. Now it looks like here there is no primary key for order. This is a relational table. So I don't. 248, 249. Actually, this might be the primary key. Yeah, the order ID. I think the order ID is the primary key. Okay. So what we do is we'll create the order ID and make that an integer. Set that as the primary key and increment one by one. And then we'll add the customer ID. So customer ID being the relational table. Okay.
Okay.
That's also integer. So customer ID being the relational column, the foreign key. All right. And then what we'll do is, can we make this a foreign key? Relationship, here we are. So customer ID, relationship, add. So we have to do that here. Tables. So table, so we're making a relationship here with the customer table. Just loading. Customer table dot customer ID equals here. order table. Okay, I can't do this yet. Wait, hold on. Let me just do this again. Okay, let me just, I'll create the relation tab, the relational after I do this. I think you need to create the table first. So let's create the order date, and this will be a date time field. Okay, and then we'll just save this. We'll call this orders. Orders table. Okay. So it's just creating the table for us. All right, so it's created it for us. So if we go right click and go refresh here in the tables, we would see here there's an order table. Okay, I'll just close this. There's the order table, and if we go right click on design view, now the table has been created. We can create a relationship, right? I'll show you. If we go to keys, we have one primary key, which is the orders, right? And the same with the customer table, we had one primary key, which is, sorry, not the keys. We had one primary key, which is the what you call it, the customer table. Now there's a foreign key here. Let me just click on this, if I can. If I can delete this, let me delete this foreign key. So there's only a primary key. Now I'll show you what a foreign key is. I don't know how this foreign key was created, but I'll show you what a foreign key is. Now if we go to the orders, we go to design. Can you hear me, Esteban?
Yep. Yep, I can.
So if you go to right click here and go relationship, right? Now there's a relationship, so we specify the table. We specify the order dot customer ID. I'm sorry, the customer just loading. Customer dot customer ID linking to orders dot customer ID. Okay, foreign key, orders, customers. Okay, okay.
Yep.
Close. Now we save the order. The following table. Okay, yep. Just giving me a warning that you made the change. Okay. Now if we go here and do a refresh, we've got the key here. It's just loading. Now we've got a foreign key. All right. Order customer. All right. This is the foreign key. Okay. So what that does, what the foreign key does, it only allows data, like I'll show you here. If we wanted to insert a record, like so in the customer table, we have here we have here 50 records. I remember there was 50 records in here. All right. Can you guys hear me still? Ask everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can. Yep.
Okay, there's 50 tables, right? There's 50 records here, sorry, in the customer table, right? So if we wanted to go order, and if we want to create an order, for example, and if we wanted to insert a data here, let's just say the first order, so let's just say the first customer ID is 2, right? And the order date is, wait, I'll get the date. Just 1 second. Let's go here, select, get date. Right, so put this value here in the date. It's create a record for us, okay? But if we type in here, say 54, right? And let's just put another date value. We'll just get the date here. And we'll paste it in the order. It should throw us an error, all right? Because there's a relationship with the customer ID. It's saying there is no 54 ID in the, what you call it, in the customer table. You guys see that? Ask everybody?
Yeah, so we don't have 54 there.
Yeah, therefore you can't add 54 in here. Because there's a relationship. This column is linked with the customer table.
Customer table.
Customer ID. All right. So, but if we insert, like, say here 50, then it should work.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, that's the 4-line key. That's what a 4-line key is. Okay, you can makes a relation with the other table, and you can only insert values from that table. If it exists in the other table, then only you can insert it here. You got what I mean? So customer ID 50 does exist in the customer table. Therefore, you can insert a record here 50. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So let's just insert some values. We'll go here 50, and we'll just put another date here. Select date. Get date just gets the current date time. I'll just paste that here. 50 and what you call it. Let's just say 5. Let's just say 6, and we'll get another date time around here. All right, and we'll specify say 30. Well, I'll just insert some records here. Okay, and then we have, say here, another 2. All right. Just paste that here, and we'll just add another one. 50. All right, and then we'll go here. Just another date. All right. All right, so we can see here that the customer ID 50 has made 3 orders. 1, 2, 3. 50, 50, 50.
Yep.
Right? The customer ID number 2 has made 2 orders. Okay? Whereas the customer ID number 6 has only made 1 order, and the customer ID number 30 has made 1 order as well. Okay? So if we do a query here, now let's do a query, all right? Let me just do another query here. Let me just use this one. So we're going to select star from orders, all right? So now we have this. Now, so if we, I was just executing this, right? The code. So now we have these records, right? Now this is not that informative. You're like, what's this customer ID, right? So what if you wanted to join it? You'll do the inner join. You'll go here, inner join. What you call it? Customers on what you call it? Orders dot customer name, customer ID equals here customers dot customer ID. Okay, let's rerun that. There we go. See it?
Yep.
All right, so there's 2 customer IDs, so we should only select 1 customer ID column because that will confuse you. So what we want to do here, we want to, so let me just, instead of selecting everything, we'll go here, we'll select order ID, we'll select here order date. Sorry, we can go here, orders dot order ID, order dot order date, and here customers dot customer name, and here we'll just do one more customer. We'll go here, customer dot contact name, and customer dot we'll just leave it as this, right? So
yep.
Now if this should work, okay, customers, okay, now we know here. So we know here that for this order, it was this customer that made this order, right? You can see here, remember the 50, remember the order ID 50? So Mason Dury was the order ID 50. Okay, he's made three orders, right? Where there was the other one, 2 orders, which was this one here. This person made 2 orders, and this person made 1 order and 1 order. I'll show you quickly again. All right, so if we go here, in the middle here. All right. So customer ID 2, customer ID 2, and this is customer ID 50, customer ID 50, and this is customer ID number 6, and this is customer ID number 30.
30.
You get it, guys?
Yep. That's good.
All right. So that's basically what the SQL is. Okay. So you can do many stuff with SQL. All right. Now with SQL, if you wanted to, now the thing is, if you wanted to do this query and if you want to display this on a web page, on a website, right?
Yep.
Then you would have to go and start doing C# coding and Visual Studio coding and all that. And I don't think we'll get the time to do that in this tutorial. I think we will save that for the next tutorial, right?
Yeah.
But one thing is, right? I'll show you one thing quickly is stored procedures, right? Stored procedures is basically a query which you can insert, which you can specify, and you can reference that query in your web page, which I'll show you next week, right? So now let's go here. We've got our two tables. Let's go to programmability. We go right click and create new stored procedure. All right. Now this looks a bit scary to start off with, but I'll show you what this is. So you just specify your details here. You don't. This is just for information purpose. So author. So I'm just writing Taza as created date. So this is created on the 29th, 07, 2018. Description. This gets order details. All right. And
yep,
we create a store procedure name. It usually starts off with DBO. Just ignore DBO there. It's a schema thing. Just ignore that. But then we give it the actual name of the stored procedure. So we go here, get order details by customer ID. All right. So you specify a parameter value here. You go here. Here's your parameter value. So you go here. What's your parameter? So you go here. You start off with the at. At, right, we'll go customer ID. At the customer ID, which is an integer. So this is your parameter. Remember, I remember I explained to you guys what a parameter is in previous tutorials. So we have here, what you call it? So we have here so we have customer ID, and we can add this query here. The inner join we did, right? So first we do the inner join. Let's just say if we wanted to show only customer ID where equals 50, okay? So we'll go here. Let's say here where customer ID equals here 50. All right, we run this, and we'll only get the customers with the customer ID 50. It's just loading. Oh, what happened? All right, here we go. All right. So it's only retrieving the customer ID where it's 50. Okay, only for Mason Dewey. All right.
yep,
So this will be the parameter value here, customer ID. All right. So what you do is you get this query, you put it in the stored procedure here. So this is a select query. Okay, so this is a select query. Just one second. Okay. All right, so we specify here where the customer ID equals here customer ID. Okay, so let's run this query. So we'll execute it, and it's created successfully. Okay, so if we go to stored procedures here, all right, ignore these ones. These are default system stored procedures. This is the one we created. All right, get order details by customer ID. So if you want to run this stored procedure, right, you go here, execute, or you can use execute or you can use exe, and you specify the parameter value name, customer ID. Customer ID, if you want to get all the records that are 2, you get this thing here. If you want to get all the records that are 50, we get it here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is the parameter value. All right. All right. So you can see here at customer ID. You can even go here at customer ID equals here 30. Right. Okay. 34. Okay. So this is what you can use. This stored procedure is what you can use in your web page, in your website, to get the data from what you call it, from the what you call it, from the from the database to the stored procedure, and that's what I'll explain to you guys next week. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So class time is finished. It's 12 o'clock now. So yeah, see, we can. Last thing, you see how I'm inserting 34 and there's no record showing because there's no customer ID 34.
34. Yep.
In the orders table. All right. I'll just go back here to the stored procedure. We're selecting orders with customer ID equals the parameter value customer. Right, and there's no 34 here, right?
Yep.
We can select. We can we can test directly here. We'll just grab this query and just go here, 34, and it's not showing anything. All right, but if we go here, 50, all right, showing something. So if we go here, if we change this here to 50. We'll go there. This select query is just for information purpose. So if you wanted to do testing and see, you know, your query and go from there. Okay. So any question, guys?
All good.
All good. All right. So we'll have a class next week. So I think the SQL I've explained it a bit. So I've created the stored procedure. I've created a relational table, the order detail and led to the customer. So next week I'll show you guys how to show that on the web page and go from there. Okay?
Okay. Yep.
All right. Cool. So we'll what you call it? Yeah. So any questions, anyone? No?
No, thanks.
All right, so we'll end this session. Okay?
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
All right, have a good day. Salam.
You too, thanks. Well.